The first video in this week's Scary compilation was uploaded by a man from the UK who shared a series of videos on his social media documenting what is the haunted object in his home. The object in question is an old African mask that the man says he bought in a car boot sale. At first, he thought it was just an interesting piece of decor, something unique to hang on his wall, but shortly after bringing it home, strange things started happening. He started posting about the incidents on social media, and his followers became curious, asking to see the mask in more detail. So, he decided to record a video, showing the mask up close, hoping someone might recognize it or know its history. He had no idea what would happen next.
Right guys, just a little quick video because a few people wanted to see the mask up close. No idea how old it is, not a clue. I'm not gonna say super old, but you know, I think it's got a bit of age to it. Could be wrong. If anyone's got any opinions on this after they've seen it up close, what kind of mask it is, how old it might be, no expert, but what the f***? Well, that's not freaky, is it? Jesus Christ. Hello? Hello? Oh, hell. Everyone's been saying, why have you got the lights off all the time? The landing light does not work, right? There's no bulb in this light. Because usually I ain't scared of going upstairs. But I'm doing this because I just want to try and prove to you all there's nobody in the house but me and whatever the this is that's me. Oh! Oh my god! Oh, there was a figure in the window. There was a silhouette in the window.
The man records the mask to give his viewers a closer look, but is suddenly interrupted by strange sounds from another room in the house. It almost sounds like someone is moving upstairs, but the man says he lives alone. He follows the sound, creeping slowly up the dark staircase. Then he sees it, a shadowy silhouette standing in an upstairs window. Terrified, he runs back downstairs and manages to sleep on the sofa that night. The next day, he's in his bedroom when the strange sounds start again. Creeped out, he grabs his phone and starts recording.
Hello? floor. Whoa!
As the man tries to investigate, all hell breaks loose. Things start being knocked over, and the man's belongings appear to get thrown around. The recording ends abruptly, leaving viewers wondering what happened next. Multiple viewers commented saying they'd experienced similar activity after bringing African masks into their home. One commenter explained that what he purchased appears to be an African tribal ceremonial mask used in rituals to communicate with spirits. They warned that these masks can act as portals, inviting spirits into the home, and that the spirits must be fed through offerings and rituals to keep them at bay. If the rituals aren't performed, the spirits become angry and activity escalates. What makes this even more disturbing is that the man casually mentions that he originally bought 2 masks, a matching set, but sold one of them. Some viewers think that could be why the strange activity suddenly got worse. Perhaps the remaining mask is angry about being separated from its pair, or upset that it's been removed from its original ceremonial context. The man says he's planning to get rid of the mask, hoping that removing it from his home will stop the paranormal activity, but based on the viewer comments, simply discarding it might not be enough. Roden doesn't post frequently, and when he does, it's usually just casual content from his everyday life. But recently, while his parents were out of town, he started experiencing things that left him genuinely terrified. Objects moved on their own, strange sounds could be heard throughout the house, and the overwhelming feeling that he wasn't alone. One night, at around 1 AM, Roden is disturbed by noises coming from another part of his house. He grabs his phone and hits record.
Estoy en mi pieza queriendo dormir, boludo, y me tocan la puerta toda la noche, amigo. Son como las 1 de la mañana. No hay nada. No, amigo, ¿qué mierda es eso, boludo? ¿Qué mierda sos, la concha de tu madre? Boludo, no. Amigo, no hay nadie, boludo. No. De hoy se está escuchando esa mierda. ¿Qué? No, boludo, no. No. Encima voy a buscar la ventana, boludo. Nadie, amigo. O sea, no hay chance que haya salido alguien por acá, boludo. No, amigo, no. No, amigo, de nuevo esto. Pero qué mierda, boludo.
A dark figure suddenly appears in the background, peeking around the doorframe, but then it vanishes out of sight. Roden then rushes inside, but there's nothing in there. Roden moves to check the window, trying to see if someone is outside, but as he looks out, another dark figure appears behind him in the reflection, standing in the room with him. When Roden posted the video, viewers pointed out both apparitions, warning him that whatever is in his house isn't just making noise, it's watching him closely. Many believe the prolonged isolation while his parents are away has made him vulnerable to paranormal activity, or perhaps the entities were always there and are only now revealing themselves. Late one night, somewhere in the countryside of Indonesia, a man and his friend were riding their motorbikes. They're driving down an old plantation road when suddenly one of the bikes breaks down. The area is known locally for sightings of the kuntilanak, a terrifying female spirit from Indonesian folklore. The man started working on the motorbike while his friend stepped back to record the situation, but as the camera rolled, something emerged from the darkness.
A. Eta tukangan A. Yeah. Astagfirullahaladzim. Naon eta euy? Astagfirullah. Iya, ngapar ieu leungeun. Asli.
From the trees, behind the man, a figure slowly appears. The figure stands only a few feet away, just watching. The friend recording starts shouting, trying to warn him, and the man turns around, sees the figure, and the video abruptly cuts off. The man says he and his friends made it home safely, but they will never forget the night they broke down on that dark plantation road.
Naon eta euy?
Social media user Yana Michaela in the Philippines. Rainstorms and typhoons are common, especially during certain seasons. On nights like these, Yana's large family traditionally gathers together for a meal inside, finding comfort in each other's company while the storm rages outside. During Typhoon Yuan, Yana decided to set up her phone to record a time lapse, wanting to capture the organised chaos of her entire family eating together. Halfway through dinner, the power suddenly cuts out. For about 30 seconds, the entire home is plunged into complete darkness. When the lights flicker back on, everyone resumes eating. No one thinks anything of it. Power outages during storms are expected. But when Yana checked the time-lapse footage later that night, something creepy catches her attention. During those seconds of darkness, at the back of the room, something dark appears. When the lights come on, whatever it was has gone, and the family continues their meal completely unaware. At first, Yana thought it might just be a camera glitch, motion blur caused by filming during the blackout. But the next morning, her uncle mentioned something that changed her perspective. He said he had a terrible nightmare that night about a ghostly girl who grabbed him and wouldn't let go, holding on to him while he tried to escape. When Yana heard this, she couldn't shake the feeling that what she captured in the time-lapse was that same entity. Many viewers believe the shadow figure and the uncle's nightmare are connected, that something took advantage of the darkness to move through the house. Others think it's simply a visual artifact from the time-lapse compression combined with the power outage. But Yana is now convinced that during those seconds of darkness, when her family sat blind in the storm, something else was in the room with them. And whatever it was, her uncle felt its presence in his sleep that same night. User Munze91 recently shared a photo from a camping trip that has Indonesian viewers spooked by what appears in the background. Munze enjoys camping and hiking through the dense jungles of his native Indonesia, often venturing into remote areas that most people avoid. On this particular trip, he and a friend decided to explore a section of jungle that locals had warned them about. The area has a dark reputation. There have been stories passed down for generations about travellers who entered the jungle and never returned. There's also stories about strange sounds heard at night and apparitions that appear to those who wander too deep. But Munze and his friend dismissed the warnings as superstition. One evening, as they set up camp, Munze positioned his camera to take a candid photo of himself and his friend. At the time, nothing seemed unusual, just two friends enjoying the jungle at dusk. But when Munze looked at the photo later that night, he noticed something in the background. Behind Munzir and his friend, partially obscured by a tree, stands a figure. Viewers say it looks like a woman dressed entirely in white, with long dark hair cascading down around her shoulders, but Munzir insists they were completely isolated, miles from the nearest village. Figure's appearance matches every description of a Pontianak, the vengeful spirit said to haunt remote forests. According to legend, the Pontianak is the ghost of a woman who passed away during childbirth, forever searching, forever mourning. When Munzir posted the photo, thousands of Indonesian viewers immediately recognised what he captured. Many warned him never to return to that location, saying the Pontianak's appearance in a photograph is a bad omen, a sign that she's marked those who enter her territory. Munzir says he and his friend left the jungle the next morning, abandoning their camping trip early. But when they reviewed the photo, they realised the woman in white had been standing there, watching them the entire time they set up camp. This next scary video was shared by a young woman named Sarah. Sarah was staying at a hotel in the Lake District, a scenic area in the north of England. She was in her bathroom filming herself getting ready, applying makeup, just standard content for her social media. But then she starts hearing something that makes her blood run cold.
Hello? Hello?
Sarah calls the hotel reception, asking if any of the staff were outside her room. They confirmed no one had been sent to her floor. She became convinced her room was haunted, that something paranormal was trying to make contact. The ghostly activity continued throughout her entire stay, forcing her to check out early, so later uploaded another video, and it makes the whole thing even spookier.
The person that I was working with, he says, I'm going to walk you to your room. He opens the door straight away for no reason whatsoever. He just says, I feel like we should change rooms. There's just something off about it. It didn't have a nice vibe. We go our separate ways, and I decide that I'm going to film myself doing like my skincare routine and stuff. And I had one of those like sticky phone cases, like, you know, the ones that you put on the back, and I had my phone against the mirror, and I heard this massive thud. Like, the thud was so loud that it knocked my phone off of the mirror. And I hear another loud bang, and it actually physically makes me jump, and I think that is included in the video if you go back and watch it. Like, I physically jump, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Because it sounded like somebody like had opened the door in my room. That's how loud it was. So I leave the bathroom and I go and look around the room, and I can't see anything. And then I just decide randomly to open the cupboard, and I'd already hung up all my outfits for the next day. Every single outfit, like I had a blazer and had a dress, pair of jeans, whatever, they were all on the floor. This is the weird thing, the rail that holds the clothes, that was still up. So it wasn't like I'd hung something that was too heavy and the rail itself had fallen down. That was still perfectly in place. But these 3 hangers, they were all now on the floor. It sounds like somebody is trying to get into my room. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, I don't think a member of staff would be doing that. So I call down again, and they confirmed that no, they actually haven't even sent somebody up to check just yet. I start to pack up all of my stuff, and whilst I'm doing that, I go into the main like bedroom area, and whilst I'm on the phone to her, the lights go off.
The home of May Rose is a social media account that had been inactive for years. That is, until July 2023. Suddenly, a series of videos appeared on the page. In the first video, the man who runs the account explains that he recently moved into a new apartment. For a week or so, everything seemed fine, but then he began experiencing what he believes is paranormal activity. One night, as he's lying in bed about to go to sleep, his bedroom door suddenly creaks open. Creeped out, he grabs his phone and starts recording.
Okay, so this is my apartment. guys, so I moved here in around July, and at least I think around, it was like last week I moved in, and I saw half of his face, but it looked like white ghostly. I don't know what it is, but very weird. It was very weird. But then all of a sudden, it's just crazy. Oh snap! What the heck? What the heck? Hello? What the heck? Y'all see that? Man, that thing drove by itself, and there's no wind drag or nothing. Look at the fan, look at that fan, the fan working. What the heck? Y'all saw that, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's doing it by itself. Nobody there. The freak is wrong with this?
He explains this kind of thing has been happening frequently. Doors open by themselves, and he often hears strange sounds echoing through the apartment. A few nights later, he hears something and starts recording again, hoping to capture evidence of whatever might be haunting him. In the darkness, at the end of the corridor, something appears to be moving before it disappears from view. Then, a few nights after recording that footage, the uploader stands in the same corridor when he feels it again, the overwhelming sensation of being watched. He can't see anything in the dark, but remembers that sometimes cameras can pick up things the human eye can't see. So, he snaps a picture with his phone, and this is what he caught. What appears to be the head of something can be seen peeking out from the darkness, staring directly at him. After seeing this, the man and viewers of these videos were more convinced than ever that he was being haunted. But since posting these clips and the photo, he has gone silent. People who've been following the account are left wondering just what exactly has happened to him. A woman and her family were house hunting in rural Pennsylvania. They'd been looking for a place for months, trying to find something affordable with enough space for everyone. The house in this clip has been on the market for over a year, which should have probably been a red flag, but the price was too good to pass up, so they scheduled a viewing. The realtor mentions the previous owners left pretty suddenly, but doesn't go into any details about why. During the tour, the woman decides to film a walkthrough on her phone.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm scared of them. That's why I walked with it.
Bubby, you stay with us.
I'm going down.
Ooh, it's purple.
You want this room,
It's Harry Potter themed.
Did you hear it? As she points the camera into the bathroom, a voice can be heard whispering the word Jadis. But at the time, nobody heard it. And here's where this gets a bit weird. The word Jadis is her niece's name. Her niece, who is right there when this whisper was heard. None of the family members said it or heard it, and nobody else was anywhere near them at the time this whisper was captured. After hearing this, the woman posted the video to TikTok, claiming that she believes she caught evidence of a ghost in the video. And of course, viewers had their say. Top comment by Javi Harrow points out that the whole house has a bad vibe. The next top comment by Maddie Arias mentions that this particular corner has very bad energy. So the question lingers, why was the whisper of this woman's niece's name, Jadis, heard in this video? And who or what said it? Could it be that something dark was lurking in that house and knew her niece's name? Let me know in the comments. This next clip was uploaded to the subreddit Paranormal Encounters by a user named V13. The OP is a young man who lives in an apartment with a friend, and for weeks now they've been noticing strange things. The OP says that he and his roommate have seen objects moving on their own and heard unexplained sounds that wake them in the middle of the night. It's been so bad, they've started to believe their apartment might be haunted. One evening, the OP is home alone since his roommate is out for the night. He's sitting in the living room when he hears something coming from down the hallway. When he looks up, he sees his friend's bedroom door wide open, which is strange to him because he's certain it was closed a second ago. Then he sees something that makes his heart stop. Through the crack in the door, the head of something with long hair can be seen staring at him. For a second, he thinks it's his roommate playing a prank on him, but then, with a sinking feeling, he remembers his roommate isn't home. The OP sits frozen, unable to move, staring at the ghostly face watching him from the darkness. The head, whatever it is, doesn't move. It doesn't even blink. It just stares right at him. That's when the OP starts to think that what he's looking at might be something paranormal. Viewers took a close look at the photos and the video, and many are convinced this is genuine paranormal evidence. The way the head appears to float, with no visible body beneath it. But what's your opinion? Is this really evidence of something paranormal? Let me know. A museum in the United States called the Paranormal Museum is dedicated entirely to the supernatural, housing a massive collection of allegedly haunted objects from around the world. The museum's TikTok account, paranormal.museum, regularly shares footage of unexplained activity captured on their security cameras. But recently, the activity has escalated from unsettling to dangerous. One evening, an employee was working alone at the reception desk after closing, quietly focused on his laptop. The museum was empty, locked, just him and the collection of artifacts. What sounds like a cough can be heard, and the employee looks up, confused, because he's supposed to be completely alone. Seconds later, he's suddenly shoved violently against the counter by an invisible force. He stumbles, clearly shaken, and immediately decides to leave, grabbing his things and exiting as quickly as possible. Weeks later, a group visited the museum to conduct a paranormal investigation, equipped with cameras and recording equipment. They were hoping to document activity, but they didn't expect what happened next.
It's a do this freeze.
As the group conducts their investigation, one of the investigators is suddenly struck by something invisible. The impact is so forceful, it nearly knocks him to the ground, exactly like what happened to the employee weeks earlier. When the museum posted both videos, viewers noticed the similarity. Both people were pushed or struck with significant force by something they couldn't see. Many believe the haunted objects in the collection are responsible, that the spirits attached to them have grown aggressive. Others think whatever is inside the paranormal museum is no longer content to just moving objects or making sounds, is physically touching visitors and staff. This next clip was shared to the R Ghosts subreddit by Playing Constant 3691. The footage was captured by a security camera during a house renovation project. The OP explains that he and his father had been working on renovating a house for a close family friend. Throughout the project, the owner had installed Ring cameras to keep the construction site secure. One morning at 4 AM, the owner received a notification on his phone telling him motion had been detected. What the footage showed left him genuinely unsettled. The camera, positioned in front of a window, captures something moving in front of the lens. Viewers have noticed that as it moves, it almost seems to let off an eerie glow. The next night, the Reddit user and his father returned to try recreating what the camera captured. They used flashlights and tried shining lights through windows. They even had someone check the live feed while they were experimenting. Nothing they did triggered the same person detected alert. Whatever passed through the house at 4 AM was solid enough to trigger a person detected alert, but just what exactly was it? Something paranormal, or is there a more logical explanation? Let me know in the comments below. Mansfield Reformatory in Ohio is widely thought to be one of America's most haunted prisons. It opened in 1896 and operated for nearly a century, housing thousands of prisoners in notoriously harsh conditions. The prison has a dark history, with records showing that over 200 inmates and several guards passed away within its walls during a relatively short period. In 1990, the prison finally closed, and it now operates as a museum and tour location. Both staff and visitors have long reported unexplained phenomena: cell doors slamming shut, footsteps echoing through empty corridors, and voices calling out from abandoned cells. In October 2025, a young man visited Mansfield with a friend, exploring the decaying cell blocks with a camera. As they walked through one of the prison's long corridors, they noticed something that stopped them in their tracks.
What the f***? That's some creepy Hold on, no, I want to see this shit. Ain't nothing. I am.
The footage shows a hallway lined with empty cells, but one cell door is swinging back and forth. However, there's no wind, and the building is enclosed, and nothing visible is causing the movement. As the person recording approaches, the door continues swinging, its movement gradually slowing, but not stopping. When they get closer, they check inside the cell, and it's completely empty. The uploader posted this single video to their TikTok account, and since then went silent. There's been no follow-up posts and no explanation. Viewers believe the swinging door is evidence of a residual haunting, a spirit replaying the same action over and over again. Perhaps a guard who spent years opening and closing that same cell door. Others think it's an intelligent haunting, a presence that wanted to make itself known to the visitors. But what's your verdict on this clip? Instagram user Javier was finishing his night shift at work While waiting for a colleague, he stands in the hallway leading to the car park. While waiting, he suddenly hears the car horn beeping from his car, which is parked right outside the door. He turns to look, and what he sees left him lost for words.
Estamos en este momento en el microhospital, escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues si el auto... ¿Qué mierda es? Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro del auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La... No, boludo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Y encima nos mira la puta. No, chabón. No.
A face can be seen in the car, but when Javier approaches and peers through the car window, there's no one in there. It's like whatever was in the car has just vanished without a trace. Confused, Javier steps back, trying to make sense of what he just saw, but the face reappears in the car window again, staring at him once more. Creepy. Javier says he's never experienced anything paranormal before this encounter, and the creepy presence in that parked car has left him deeply unsettled.
Y encima nos mira la puta.
Back in October 2025, a bus driver in Brazil, who goes by the username Junio BH Silva, Junio has been working the late shift for years, driving empty buses back to the depot after the last passengers have gone home. It's lonely after work, but he's used to it. On this particular night, he's driving back at 3:21 AM when he suddenly feels something strange, like someone is on the bus with him, even though he knows it's completely empty.
Só eu que tô vendo? Mano. Só eu que tô vendo? Hã? Só eu que tô vendo?
In the mirror's reflection, a man's head is clearly visible, poking out from one of the bus windows. Junio immediately looks back, but there's no one there. He checks the interior camera feed. The bus is empty. Yet, in the side mirror, the figure remains, still leaning out of the window. Shaken, Junio continues driving to the depot, unsure of what he just witnessed. When he finally arrives, he stops the bus and walks through every row.
Eu não sei quem trouxe, não sei quem colocou. Não sei se já tava aí, não reparei. Está aí, ó.
The bus is empty, but then Junio notices something hanging from one of the metal bars, a Catholic rosary that wasn't there before. Junio has no explanation for how it got there, or who the man in the mirror was. Some people believe a ghost hitched a ride on his bus that night, perhaps someone who passed away while travelling that route. Others think it could be a guardian presence, leaving the rosary as a sign of protection. But whatever was on that bus with Junio, it made sure he knew it was there. A man and his wife live in a house on the edge of a dense forest in America. They moved there 6 months ago, looking for peace and quiet away from the city, and for the first few weeks, everything was going pretty well. They enjoyed hearing the sounds of nature in the forest at night, but after some time, the couple began hearing something else, something that didn't sound like any animal they knew. The strange sounds started around midnight and always seemed to be coming from the exact same spot, the tree line behind their property. At first, they ignored it, telling each other it was just wildlife. And late one night, the noises became impossible to ignore. Tired of being disturbed by whatever it is, the man decides to go out and confront it. He grabs his flashlight and phone and goes to take a look.
I can't zoom in, babe. Look at that. Man, I lost it. There it is, there it is. You see that in the middle of the camera? What the is that? Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Oh, nah.
This is what he caught. As he scans the tree line outside his property with his flashlight, he notices something in the darkness. Whatever it is moving before it suddenly rises up, and the man says,
"Oh, nah,"
and flees inside. But what is it? Now, in the original version, it's pretty hard to make out, but if we enhance it, we can definitely see that someone or something is there. But after this capture, apparently it was never seen again, and the uploader says they have no idea just who or what that thing was. But do you know what this is?
Oh, nah. Oh, nah.
On October the 4th, 2025, a user named Misty N. Adams shared security camera footage that captured something unexplainable outside her home. It's 9:44 p.m. and Misty explains that her son was walking up to the house after being at a friend's house earlier that evening. Just as he approached, Misty received a motion alert notification on her phone from one of her outdoor cameras. But then she sees something captured by the security camera that just doesn't make sense. The night vision camera shows a dark shape moving across the yard. Viewers have pointed out how distinct the shape is and how quickly it moves. Then, on a second camera angle, Misty's son appears, walking up to the house, apparently totally unaware of what's following behind him. But here's what's disturbing. The second camera, which should have captured the same object, shows nothing. Only the infrared night vision camera caught whatever this is. Misty also points out a strange noise that occurs the moment the object crosses the frame. She's reviewed the footage multiple times and still can't explain what it was. But the fact that it only appeared on one camera makes Misty and her viewers think the camera picked up something paranormal. But what do you think? This next video was uploaded to Facebook by a home renovations company based in South America. 2 construction workers from the company were assigned to renovate an empty house. It should have been a routine job, but from the moment they arrived, something felt off about the property. It was the middle of the day. Both workers felt an overwhelming sense of unease, like they weren't alone. As they worked, one of them started hearing music coming from somewhere inside the house. Now, I didn't know this, but some homeowners like to play pranks on renovation crews. So the worker decided to start recording, hoping to catch whoever was messing with them. What he captured wasn't a prank.
Gente, aquí estamos. Ahora vamos para este cuarto que llevo un rato escuchando cantazos y eso. Uy. Hay algo que está sonando por ahí, brother. Oigan, ¿qué fue eso? Pompi. No, papá. No, chacho. Hay algo que está... Pompi. Mira, tú escuchas eso, ¿verdad? No, yo estoy asustado ya, compi. Hay algo que lleva jato sonando allá adentro y de momento ¡pam! Dieron un cantazo.
Ya te digo que tú eres de estos que son cobardes, que te imaginas cosas, bro.
No, chacho, yo no puedo imaginar eso, compi.
¿Dónde?
Ay, en el cuarto ese, que llevo jato escuchando cantar y pensaba que eras tú, y cuando yo vine a ver, tú estabas ahí tranquilo, recogiendo algunas cositas, y me, chacho, sentí como si me hubieran tocado. No, chacho, yo estoy que no puedo ni hablar.
¿No peliculitas por la nochecita?
No, yo no veo películas de esas ya, compi. Vamos a ver, este, compi, este. Escucha cómo suena. ¿Tú estás escuchando eso?
Está en el closet.
Por eso, yo creo que yo desde lejos, o si acaso. Sí, estoy temblando, compi, yo no sé qué vaya. Cuidado, compi, que si yo algo estaba cogiendo, tú sabes cómo es esto. No. Ey. Pero qué caramba es eso. ¿Y cómo tienen esa muñeca así? Como si estuvieran mirando para abajo. Ay, bendito Dios, y sonando ya. Me siento un calentón en este cuarto, compi, no va. Aún sigue sonando solo. Oh, y se mueve y todo. Ay, compi, ¿no?
Eso a lo mejor fueron los que eran dueños por hacer la maldad o algo. Alguien vino a hacer la maldad, compi. Por eso tú no te puedes poner a darle 20 a eso, porque esos son boberías.
Sí, ¿no?
¿Ya te lo ves aquí?
Que bajo ya, que...
Y ahí mira una computadora, ¿verdad? Por eso hay que sacarlo, para botarlo.
Compi, ¿pero qué es eso, compi?
¿Ah?
Mira, compi se movió. Compi se está moviendo, compi, ¿oíste?
Coño, pero no será el viento.
No, si aquí no hay viento, compi.
Pero con un muñeco feo.
Mira para allá.
Inside a closet, the 2 workers find a doll hanging upside down, and then another toy suddenly starts moving on its own before launching itself toward them. Both workers immediately run, refusing to go back inside without backup. When the company posted the footage to their Facebook page, they explained that the workers have no explanation for what happened, and they're convinced the house is experiencing genuine paranormal activity. Some viewers believe the upside-down doll is a sign of something dark, a ritual or curse performed in that home. Others think the presence is attached to the toys themselves, using them to manifest and frighten anyone who enters. The renovation company says the homeowners were contacted about the incident, but whether the project will continue or whether that house will remain untouched is still unclear. A mother recently inherited her grandmother's house in California. Built in 1941, full of happy childhood memories, she moved her family in 6 months ago, excited for her daughters to grow up in the same home she did. Fast forward a few years to Christmas morning 2025. The mother is in a bedroom and the father is in the living room. And in that living room, they have a home security camera, and on that morning, it captures something which the family can't explain.
No way.
Was that you?
Jaime?
Huh?
No, that wasn't me.
You didn't say no way.
Go, I heard go away. What the? Jaime! Amelia! Where is she? Can you see her?
A voice from someone can be heard whispering.
Go away! Go away! Go away!
Both the parents hear it, but have no clue whose voice it was. The mother posts the video to the Our Paranormal Encounters subreddit to try and get some answers, and Redditors were divided. Some question the authenticity of the voice, with some saying it sounds exactly like the woman's voice, and others, well, they were more interested in the poll. So, at least one thing's for sure, this poll definitely stole the show on Reddit. But jokes aside, just what or who was behind that voice saying, "Go away"?
Go away!
Security camera footage is one of the most popular ways evidence of paranormal activity is captured, and this next clip is no different. Keely, a young woman from the USA, uploaded the footage you're about to see after her security camera captured something creepy in her home. She explains that she recently moved into a new home, excited for a fresh start, but from the moment she moved in, something felt off about the basement. Every time she went downstairs, she felt an overwhelming sense of unease, like she was being watched, and like she wasn't alone. Keely lives by herself, so the feeling that someone or something was in her house left her feeling unsettled. She decided to install a security camera at the bottom of the stairs, hoping to ease her paranoia by proving the space was empty. But a few days after setting up the camera, in the middle of the night, she received a motion alert on her phone. At the time, Keely was in her bedroom upstairs. What she saw shook her to her core. Keely's instinct about the basement might have been correct. There could be something down there, moving through her home when she's not looking, and now that it's been caught on camera, it knows she's watching. A security guard in Indonesia posted footage that has viewers convinced he captured something paranormal on camera. Sneaky recently moved to a rural area to take a security job monitoring a local park. Locals immediately warned him about the land he'd be patrolling. They told him it's haunted by the spirit of a woman in white. At first, Sneaky dismissed it as superstition, but then he started hearing the screams every night. At the exact same time, blood-curdling shrieks would echo through the darkness. He spent hours searching the area, but has never ever found anyone out there. Eventually, Sneaky decides to set up a night vision camera, pointing it at the area where the sounds seem to originate, and this is what the night vision camera caught.
Buat semua yang ada di sini, buat semua penunggu yang ada di sini, mendekatlah, tunjukkan dirimu. Buat semua penunggu yang ada di sini, mendekatlah, tunjukkan dirimu. Buat semua penunggu yang ada di sini, tiba-tiba nggak bisa gerak. Buat semua penunggu yang ada di sini, gerak sendiri. Ini kenapa ya? Buat semua penunggu yang ada di sini, tolong mendekat.
The footage shows an empty field, nothing but trees and darkness. Then, in an instant, where there was nothing before, a white figure materializes just as suddenly as it appeared. When Sneaky posted the video online, many of his followers immediately recognised what he'd captured. They believe it's a kuntilanak, a terrifying female spirit from Indonesian folklore, known for appearing as a woman in white and emitting horrifying screams. Sneaky says he still hears the screams every night, but now he knows what's making them, and knowing doesn't make it any less terrifying. Thanks so much for watching. If you're up for more scary videos, check out one of these next. You're gonna love them. Oh, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.